This is Inspirational Women, a weekly series shining the spotlight on female trailblazers making a true difference in our community. Once again, here is Kate Daniels.
Now let's meet an inspiring young woman from our Puget Sound area who's doing amazing things and demonstrates how we can go about creating a life with meaning and purpose and be the uplifting energy the world needs. We're meeting Alexis DeBrock and begin with getting a glimpse into pageants. Alexis DeBrock, good morning. It certainly is wonderful to see you this morning.
Good morning. It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here. We met via Zoom maybe a month or so ago, but it was very recent. And you work here for Hubbard, so we work for the same company, which is great. The way work goes these days, you don't necessarily see a lot of people all of the time.
True.
At least I certainly don't.
We're in the office on different days.
Yes, all that sort of thing.
Yes.
So we then came together because you have gotten into a new venture,
Yes.
which I think is just so exciting, and that is the Mrs. Washington pageant.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. And I was in awe of this because, I had this image that, anybody who goes into these pageants must have a long history of having done that since childhood. But lo and behold, you told me a different story.
Yes.
So that's my entry into this.
Wow. That was quite an entry. Good summary.
But for you, the detail of the Mrs. Washington pageant, how did you decide this is what you were going to do?
Yeah, so this will be my first pageant. Did not grow up doing pageants, and I had a very similar understanding going into the pageant world, thinking that everybody had probably done pageants before. But the reason that I wanted to sign up, there are a few pageants out there. I'm signing up for the Mrs. Washington America pageant, which moves on to Mrs. America down the road if I were to get a title. But the reason I came about wanting to go through the whole pageant was one of my best friends trying to get pregnant this year, and she created a baby bucket list of things she wanted to do and accomplish before having kids. And I turned to my fiance, Ryan, and told him that I just thought it was such an amazing idea, and we're such ambitious people. We should come up with lists as well, not for baby purposes because that's a little far away. We're in the middle of wedding planning, so we still have a couple years, but just in life in general, trying to take more risks, take more challenges. And so I put together a list of a few action items that I'd want to accomplish in the next couple of years to challenge myself, and thought to myself, why not put a beauty pageant on the list and kind of see what it's all about? So I did my research and tried to figure out what beauty pageant would make sense. I don't have any specific talents. I think I'm good at a lot of things, but I don't necessarily, I'm not a star singing, or I can unicycle, or I don't know. I don't even know. I can't dance. Except for fun, but it looked a little weird probably. So decided probably a talent wasn't the thing that I would want to compete with. So I did my research, and the pageant that interested me the most was the Washington America pageant. And it was something that I qualified for. It's a month after my wedding, and so I wanted to make sure, sometimes eligibility-wise, you have to be married for a certain amount of time. There's a whole bunch of things in place. So I reached out to the director to make sure that I would be eligible for the pageant. And when I reached out, she responded super quickly and was like, hey, we actually have an event this upcoming weekend. If you want to meet the girls who are going off to nationals, we're having a send-off party. I turned to my fiance. He said, heck yeah, let's go. Let's see if this is something you want to do. Ended up going to this event and started mingling and absolutely loved all the girls I was meeting. They were super genuine. I went in not knowing what this experience would look like and how people would act and if they'd be friendly or cliquey or, all the different stereotypes that might pop into your brain, but was pleasantly surprised by the people that were there. And over half of them had never been in a pageant before either and didn't grow up doing pageants. And I think what was the most impressive part of going to this event was that part of the pageant is you have to come up with a platform, something you want to contribute to, something you want to support, raise awareness to, whatever it may be. And every single woman there had a really unique platform, something that they cared deeply about, whether it was helping first responders or we sat next to a lady who was 50 years old, first time in a pageant, and, a handful of years ago, she lost a son. And her platform was where she would like to create a space for grieving parents to get together. So some of them were more impactful, and some of them, at the end of the day, I think what was cool is they all had something really unique to offer, and they were just people that wanted to do good in the world and to do something different and had a similar mindset. And so I signed up the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing how quickly that all unfolded.
Oh, I know.
You were able, but you'd done the homework previously.
I did.
To see what it was about.
I did, yeah. So a couple weeks before I even reached out, I was kind of debating on it and thinking about it. I love the movie Miss Congeniality. I'm sure most people love Sandra Bullock and know that movie really well. And that's my only experience knowing about pageants in general. And Miss Congeniality is a real title you can win. I didn't know that either. So I learned that. But this pageant, you don't have to have a talent, but it is your very traditional gown, heels, the whole 9 yards. And I have my first rehearsal actually this upcoming Sunday to learn how to walk.
You didn't know how to walk.
Yeah, I didn't know. This is new.
But yes, there are those platform walks that you have to have, right?
Yeah, I think it's learning where you're supposed to go, on stage. And it sounds like there's a choreographed dance in some capacity. So starting to learn that as well.
So, Alexis, we're going to rewind a little bit here.
Deal.
Now that we've gotten to okay, here's the practice stuff coming. But you were attracted to it because people would have platforms.
Correct.
And you have your own passion and a platform that you wanted to put forward, right?
Yeah, I knew going into it that if a platform was a part of the pageant, I already knew from the get-go what I'd want to do because it's close to my heart. And that has to do with my fiance, Ryan. He is a combat veteran, and I think a lot of times with combat veterans, you see a lot of the wounds on the outside. Everyone knows Wounded Warrior Project, and, you might see people are missing arms and legs, but there's also a lot of invisible wounds that people may not be aware of. And as a future spouse, I see a lot of that on the day-to-day and things behind the scenes. So I knew going into it that I wanted my platform to focus on helping someone like Ryan, my fiance, and I didn't know what that was going to look like. Still figuring out the exact details, but I knew that that was my foundation, and I know that that's what I'd like to raise awareness on.
So I'm going to kind of divert for a moment, just thinking of all that you have shared in terms of coming to this moment and how there's just so much hopefulness to your attitude.
Well, thank you.
For the, sometimes we think of the younger generation and oh my God, what is the world coming?
Right.
But here you are, with just this a passion, an open heart, a desire to do good, and really focusing on getting there, not just kind of it'd be nice, and then you just.
You're very sweet. That was quite a compliment.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
But no, I think that's important, that to know that this is going on.
Right.
Young people like yourself are, because you mentioned your friend inspired you with this bucket list.
Yeah, she did.
Right? So, yay for your friend.
Yes. Oh, she'll take full credit for it. Just kidding.
But, you could have said, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And let it go. But no, that inspired you. And you decided to pick up that baton, if you will, and find what you would do.
Yeah.
So
it was inspirational, definitely. And I'm the kind of person where I don't want to just give it half of my effort. I want to give it my full go ahead. And so when it came to this pageant, I know that I want to try my hardest to make a difference and give it my all. I don't want to have any regrets. I really want to try and actually make a difference because that's just who I am.
And I can witness this just in the little bit of time that I've known you and how you've gone about it, because it's been a few weeks since we spoke and this was still all very, very new at that time. In just a few weeks, you realized what you needed to do, and you're creating a site that will support your platform and the way that we, because that's part of it, is to raise funds and support your efforts and support the organization or organizations that are part of your platform.
Yeah. The way I want to go about supporting and moving about my initiative is not just with volunteer opportunities and events, but trying to raise awareness and funds specifically to hopefully donate to charities that will be in support of my platform.
Right.
So,
and so to do that, like
yes.
you then had to create this whole page for your Instagram account.
Yes.
Which, if I were to look at it, I'd say, well, okay, help me out. I have no idea.
I did not know where to start either. And it's been a challenge to navigate where to start. I have this idea in mind of who I'd like to help and what platform I'd like to support, but how do I actually take steps to make it happen?
Mm-hmm.
And by talking to the current title holders, or I guess they're called queens, I'm learning all the language,
Yeah.
the director, other contestants that have maybe done it for a couple of years or have grown up doing pageants, trying to watch YouTube videos. There are some resources out there. So just through all these various ways, I guess, and people that I've conversed with, I've kind of had to create my own materials to create a sponsorship outline, to create an outline of my platform, to figure out how do people contribute and support me, what does that look like, you taking an Instagram and trying to figure out how can I raise awareness, again, what does that look like. So there's a lot that's gone into it. Mm-hmm. And that's probably taken most of my time, is there hasn't been a starting point. So trying to create something, an idea, and turn it into a physical product or a way to actually show and outline what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to accomplish. That's been the most difficult part so far.
And yet it hasn't deterred you.
No.
Right?
I'll take it headstrong, so to speak.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think that just underscores how your dedication and how important it is, thus the dedication. You know, that sort of thing.
True. Yeah. And I like challenges, and I like to be challenged. And just because there aren't pre-established guidelines or rules in place, and I can talk to people for advice about how they went about gathering sponsorships and raising awareness for their platforms. But there's no templates. There's no, here's the first step that you need to do, and then that moves on to the second. There's no outlined information in that capacity. It's just kind of what works for people, because when it comes to the pageant, it's what you make of it and how you want to navigate it on your own. And so I think there's a whole spectrum of people who they're super involved in their platform, or they're just a little bit involved. So there's a range, and that's why there's no established templates or here's how you go about it, or this is what sponsorship should look like. So and that's been a little difficult, but we're getting there.
And again, I just think it's amazing, and you're probably really finding more strengths and stronger attitude than perhaps you even realized you had.
Definitely. I'm learning things about myself that I didn't know I could do.
Isn't that exciting?
I'm creating a brand. I'm using a lot of my digital marketing skills at my job and applying it to the pageant and trying to make that successful too. So that's kind of gone hand in hand, which has been nice. Mm-hmm. But the ideas and the words, and it's just been a lot of passing it out to people, gathering feedback, and making adjustments.
Yeah.
Well, I try and navigate and make it as good as it can be.
What an exciting journey.
It is. It's super exciting. I don't know where it's going to take me or what the pageant will look like or what will happen as I move along or how it'll change a little bit or adapt. But I know that I'm giving it my all, and that I can be proud of.
Without question.
Definitely.
To know that regardless of what the outcomes will be, this part of the journey, all the steps you're taking are building an inner strength and, this real stick-to-itiveness, if you will, of making it happen, so that those are values no one can take away from you.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's helped me grow as an individual so far, even in the short amount of time that I've been working on the pageant and, I guess, preparing for it.
Yeah.
These are things I've never had to do in my personal life, and so it's been a lot of fun navigating and defining and establishing what it could look like.
Right. So with the platform
yes.
of supporting wounded combat veterans, those wounds we don't see, and those are significant.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, I dare say, the veteran themselves isn't always aware of what it is, right?
Yeah, correct. I think one of the biggest, most common is PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a huge impact, not just on, the veteran themselves, but I think you can get secondhand PTSD as well. And so it has an impact not just on that individual, but on their family members. And if not, you're at least seeing how it has an impact. And that can be really difficult.
Yes.
So if I can do something to raise more awareness or find more resources or can donate financially to organizations that are making an impact in veterans' lives and combat veterans specifically, then I can feel like I was successful with my platform.
Mm-hmm. Yes, which is great to be open to that success can look like so many different things. It's not just getting the crown.
Yeah, no. And for me, because I'm new to pageants and this whole thing, it would be fun if I were to, I guess, win. But that's definitely not what I'm going for. It's more so for challenging myself and proving something to myself and taking more risks. And it would be cool, but that's definitely not what I'm going for.
Yes,
I'm just trying to make a difference. And if this is my way to push myself, because people talk about volunteering all the time, or people talk about making an impact, but now I'm signed up for something. There's a timeline, and I have between now and then, it's like the extra push that I was looking for. So I'm using it as like my launching point.
I think that's so admirable. There's just so many gifts that I can see that are a part of this. And you were sharing with me in terms of the platform, you've also needed to do research as to what are the organizations that exist that would be part of it. And so that's been quite a learning experience.
It has. I've done a lot of research. There's a lot of different foundations and nonprofits out there, but navigating which ones are the most transparent about their funds, which ones really make an impact, just making sure that whatever nonprofits I'm interested in donating to, I really want them to contribute to combat veterans and helping combat veterans with PTSD, hopefully, is kind of, so again, narrowing in on my platform specifically and making sure that these nonprofits are reputable and trying to find ones that are maybe local and national. So there's a lot out there, and it's been a lot to decipher and try and narrow down. I've narrowed it down to maybe 5 or 6, but I think I still have some narrowing down to do as I go along. Unless I can raise just a ton of money. I don't know.
Well, why not shoot for the stars?
That's true.
And the moon and all the other planets.
I always say shoot for the stars, land on the moon.
Yes.
If you don't shoot for the moon, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's right.
So go past.
Yeah, because the stars are beyond the moon.
Exactly.
So
shoot for the stars, land on the moon.
Yes. Aren't these little quotes and phrases great impetus? Like, yes, okay, I can see the image of what that needs to be. This is how I'm going to incorporate it.
I'm a visual person, so for me, that helps motivate me too.
So you're in the process of narrowing down what these organizations will be.
Correct.
And that's where we come into play in the near future, because this is going to have to launch pretty soon.
It is, yeah. In the next couple weeks, it's maybe even starting this afternoon. I have a few individuals that are interested and started really talking to family and friends and networking everywhere I go. I was on the East Coast for work the other day, and everyone was asking about the pageant as well. So I think spreading the word, people are ready. We're getting there. I think it's probably about time.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
And so that's something to be looking for is your Instagram.
Yes, my
account.
Instagram. That will have as much information as possible in terms of donating. I'm looking for sponsorships to help contribute financially so that I can donate to nonprofits and raise awareness, continue doing what I want to do to make it the biggest impact possible in the next couple months.
Mm-hmm.
So
what is the Instagram page?
my Instagram is Lexi_rocks with 3 S's. So my name is Alexis, so Lexi Rock.
I think that's great. I think that that's really strong, because you're just going to rock it all. And
Exactly. And if you were to search it, it pops up as Mrs. Cascade. That's my competition title.
That's right. We didn't actually touch on Mrs. Cascade.
Yeah.
That is something that's part of the pageant.
It is, yeah. So you had to pick your title. Well, I learned so much information here when I went to the first event to find out more. I found out that part of being a part of the pageant was picking a title. And when I asked about, well, what do I go for? Am I going for my location? And found out that it's something you come up with on the spot. And when I was at the event, and I was talking to the director and was telling her I was interested, but what would my title be? She was encouraging me to go more broad, and my fiance was there with me, and he recommended, he was like, what about Mrs. Cascade? And from the get-go, we knew that that should be, as long as it wasn't taken, which it wasn't, that should be my name, because we spent a lot of time at the mountains, hiking, skiing, running. You know, my fiance chose the name, and he's a big mountaineer. He even summited Mount Rainier this past summer. So
Wow.
It was just the perfect name.
Oh, yes. That's some of those little pieces all coming together and saying, this is right.
Exactly.
You're
Plus, the
on the right-
Cascade Mountains are such a huge part of what makes Washington so beautiful. All the
Yes.
mountains. It's a gorgeous state. So if I can encompass that into my title, even better.
You're on the right path. This
Exactly.
is where you need to be, right? Kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a pretty name, too.
It definitely
Yeah.
is. And I found that was an interesting thing that you
Yeah.
choose as you
It's
just
a little fun
shared
fact.
with
I had
us.
no idea. I thought it was something that, again, was given to you or you had to earn. Maybe other pageants, that is the case, but for this specific pageant, that is not the case.
And so I want to get back to your platform, and the organizations will be on your Instagram. Now the process from here in the fall to the pageant. When is the actual pageant?
The pageant takes place in March of 2026. It's towards the second half of the month. I'll be confirming that shortly. I know it's the second half of March, though. So I have a little bit of time.
With a wedding prior to that.
Yes, a wedding, yes, in February. So I definitely like to keep myself very busy.
That is one word for it.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm already going by Mrs., which is really funny, too.
Yes.
I didn't
Getting used to it.
Yeah, we're just testing it out.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's really remarkable here, Alexis, is that you have your wedding in February, which for most of us, I think, would be, okay, that's enough to focus on.
I know.
But no, you decide to, okay, so we should do the pageant, because I really appreciate how Ryan is so supportive.
Oh, he's been, I mean, when he didn't realize it too, but when he said yes and had me sign up, he is a big part of it. Not only inspiring my platform, but he has to walk me on stage at the pageant. So, but he's been the most incredible partner. And as soon as I told him about the idea, it wasn't like, well, why do you want to do that? Or nothing like that. It was just whatever you want to do. He's in full, complete support. He attended the event with me initially when I was even just interested, and I was a little nervous, but he was my wingman, so to speak. And we've been volunteering together. We're going to a USO gala this upcoming weekend. So it's been a big commitment for both of us on top of wedding planning.
Yes.
But he's been wonderful.
It feels like it's this full life. It's not just an event of planning for the wedding.
Correct.
But just incorporating so much else, like volunteering at the USO.
These are things we've talked about for a long time. We love the USO when we go to the airport, and we've always talked about volunteering. And it's fun to actually be volunteering now.
Yeah.
And so kind of just accomplishing things that we've talked about for a couple years now.
And making it happen.
Yeah. I mean, if we can make a difference together, especially it's something he's passionate about as well. And he has a lot of friends that are combat veterans too. So if we can help raise awareness and make a difference and give back to his community, which is now my community,
Yes.
then we're happy to. And it's just been really wonderful that he also, I'm not doing it alone.
You're in a partnership.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how definitely.
And it's not that you have to do everything together, but there are
No.
significant things that you support each other in
Right.
doing. And he's just in
Yeah.
this.
That's
hook,
how
line,
I think that's what you hope for in a life partner is
Yes.
someone that you can experience life together with. And
Mhm.
this is just another random experience.
Yeah.
So
And with your having a bucket list.
I know. He has his own. So
Yeah,
I got to make
well,
sure we're supporting each other. And I think
Sure.
that's the key.
Yeah, the idea is that you're already setting this game plan
Yes.
and starting it, so the momentum, you're
Yeah.
setting that goal of you're doing this together.
Yeah, it's important to have goals. And so he loved the idea when I told him originally about my friend who was creating lists and why don't we do it? He took it on completely as well and just thought it was a wonderful idea and created his own list of activities that he thought would be great to work towards. And I think having ambition and goal setting is always important, no matter what stage.
So, time is winding down.
Oh,
We have the
yes.
Instagram page,
We
so let's
do.
mention it.
Yes, Lexi Rocks with Lexi_rocks with 3 S's.
Yeah. Check that out where the
Yeah.
platform.
I think the biggest thing that people can do to contribute and or help is following the Instagram, following my journey to help me raise awareness, number 1. But number 2, I'll have links on there to hopefully contribute and sponsor, so contribute financially to helping me donate to these various different charities as I narrow them down even further.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. There we are with goals once again.
And I guess the last one would be in-kind donations. So I'll be needing dresses and things as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of that will be there. If we keep following, we'll see what the needs are.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's the plan, is to try and make it as easy as possible. And that's why I've spent so much time trying to narrow it down as I've gone along and figure out what that could look like, because I don't want to just put something out there and not have it ready to go.
We just have to follow and see how it all evolves, and we'll be a part of it too. Mm. And we can support that and be partners.
Yeah, I would love to have more people help raise awareness by following and watching my journey and contributing and seeing the impacts it can actually have. And hopefully we could do it together. That's the big goal. It takes a village.
It does. And it takes individuals with vision like yourself and a partner who supports that to really make things happen. And, as I said earlier on, I just think, you're just a vision, a voice of hope when we think the younger generation perhaps isn't doing a lot. But, here's proof.
I know. Everyone always says I like to keep myself too busy. That's very true. As I thrive on hard work, and this is just another thing. But if I can, it's doing good. So it's a good way to spend my time. And again, I want to give it my all. I want to give it my hardest, and I'm going to make it happen.
Yes. Well, you are making it happen.
Yeah.
You just don't know what it all is going to be, but it is happening. You're definitely in motion.
We are in motion. Yeah. We're just figuring out the last details, but I have a list of some really good places and nonprofits, and it just might fluctuate just a little bit because it may not be possible to donate to 6. It may be possible. Mm-hmm. So it just depends how it moves along and what it looks like in a couple months from now as I get a lot closer.
And that's why we need to follow you on your Instagram to know how it's evolving.
Exactly.
And be the support
correct.
That's needed.
Because it will fluctuate, and I think that's important when it comes to anything in life. Is it's going to change in some capacity. What you start with may not be exactly what you end with, but the mission won't change.
You're such a wise young woman.
Wow. Wow, thank you.
Well, you are. I'm very impressed with how you've had this all created, and it's evolving, and that you're moving down this path and sharing it with us. So
it's definitely unique. This will be a fun journey for sure, a unique one.
Because it's been fun already.
Oh, it's been so fun. I love volunteering. I love telling people about it. I have so many friends that are excited, and when I have the exact date of when it is in March, they want to attend and see me on stage and support me, and they've already followed my Instagram, so it's been nothing but fun.
This has been fun, I have to say, Alexis De Brock. It's been fun to meet you in person and to hear about this journey and hopefully inspire others, whether for something similar or whatever it is in their life.
Yeah, taking more risks and challenges, and it's scary to do, but it also comes with great risk comes great reward, right? It's also cliche, but it's true.
But it's true.
It's very true. Yeah. So if I can inspire someone, I'd be happy to.
Well, that's what we're looking forward to.
Yeah.
And again, big thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for being here this morning to meet these special guests with their special personal stories that I feel both challenge and inspire us. Please check this station's website for the podcasts for more information about these guests, and please share the stories with your family and friends. I'm Kate Daniels. If you'd like to connect with me, please send me an email, katedaniels@hubbardradio.com. Now with this fresh day, a fresh canvas, what will you create?
Thank you for listening to Inspirational Women. Tune in every Sunday morning at this time to hear about those truly empowering the Northwest community, all for the greater good. Sunday Morning Magazine and Inspirational Women are a public service of Hubbard Radio Seattle.